or today or any day.
Well, Alex has been doing a bunch of our open houses and doing an awesome job at it.
She or she been standing in the backyard.
And now I have questions. Yeah.
Lifestyle. I love that.
Yes.
Welcome to the open. If you buy this,
Some of the feedback makes sense now.
I get it. I get it.
I did have to kick people out of the backyard though.
Did you?
I was shutting up and there was like people still outside. I was like, oh, no.
This lifestyle's not yours yet. This out. Awesome. Awesome. You also had a great event.
Yeah, we had a fun event.
How many people showed up to
Client
your event?
appreciation. We ended up around 1:30-ish. So it was a good event.
Super cool.
About-
Super fun. How long have you been doing this?
That was year, I think, 13.
What? It's been that long?
Yeah, we've been selling real estate for almost 15 now.
Wow.
Since they were 5. So
I
yeah,
wish.
got it. Awesome. What else? What else is good?
I'm gonna bucket fill Deja. She is on her last transaction, so she's actually doing transactions that are out of the PC program.
That is an awesome idea.
So,
You're ready to almost take that whole big leap, aren't you?
you know it.
It's like this.
It's
like
like I'm
right
right
there.
here on the side of the cliff.
That's awesome. Proud of you. Really proud of you.
And
Ooh.
it's coming, but she's gonna be capping soon, which is
Yeah, I'll be capping next month.
How many months have you been in?
Since November, so 7.
Hey.
For somebody I love that. That's super cool. Anything else?
Rick emailed me, he wanted to bucket fill Sherry. Sherry wrote an offer and negotiated a deal for their clients. It's their dream home on a lake, so they're very excited about it. So he just wanted to thank her for an amazing job.
Thank you. You guys, I played Mahjong for the first time last night. Are there any Mahjong players in here? No? Okay, you guys aren't my people then yet?
Not yet.
I said, what is it? And I went to this game, right? It's like, I think it's like clubs like bridge, which I don't know what bridge is either.
My great grandparents played that.
Yeah, that's why I don't know what bridge is, but I've always heard that like I played cribbage with my grandparents, like, but that's different. It's like legit. Like they have these tiles and you have to like think a lot and you have to like look at a cheat card and you have to like get pairs and there's suits, but it's like really confusing. So it made my brain hurt so much last night, but it was also really, really challenging where I was like,
And it
wait
all,
for it. So then I went to go buy tiles this morning because I was like, oh, I could play this with the kids, or like we could be like a fan. They are $400 for this game, and then it's like
and they
different.
change the decks every year.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was like, guess I'm gonna have a friend with some tiles. I'm just gonna play on Tuesdays or Wednesday nights or whatever. But if anyone has Mahjong tiles, I'm in. I'm not good at it yet, but I'm in. Maybe we get a Mahjong tile for the office and we can have a night, you know.
I heard it.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh well. But yeah, if you guys hear about it, it's like you should try it. It's like a new fad. Really expensive though. So in regards to like cars, but Heather, what else you got?
Me?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say something that you were happy about, or
Well, the USPS delivered a package to Okinawa, Japan for me this week, so that was amazing.
amazing.
You know, another package missing, like, we got one there.
Good.
This is a positive because she was ready to go to Chicago to find a jacket, which we said probably wasn't gonna happen, but.
I still may go to Chicago.
Yeah, okay. Moving on. I'm like, okay, moving on.
There's still one missing.
From the recording.
Oh, okay. That's for $40.
This lingers.
There we go. All right. Because I looked them up and I was like, okay.
Oh, but I was gonna say, so do you have to buy a new board every year, John?
Not board, the decks.
You have to buy the new decks or the tile? So you have to buy the new tiles every year?
Those are dragons and directions, like northeast, southwest.
I don't play it, but everybody in Florida does.
Oh.
Look at you already setting up retirement.
My retirement, like,
There you
no
go.
one's business
Yeah.
in Mahjong. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna be like, great. So I just aged myself. Awesome. On. Let's go to the next today. we have happy hour or R&R at Baccio, 4 to 6, so just across the street. A lot of times it's great. Talk about what's going on in the market, get connections to do open houses and meet agents in the market center. So hopefully we see you there today. Anything else that needed to be said about that? Okay, the leadership team is going to be out of the office on Thursday. We have a regional meeting. So we will check command, and by we, that would be Heather and Lydia, later in the afternoon. And I think that goes from 9 to 1.
Yeah.
So by later in the afternoon, we are past 1. So if it is 1 o'clock and you start texting them, give them a hot second to get back to the office before they check those,
I'll be in the office
Okay.
in the afternoon.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of the afternoon, we have 5 seats available still, for a luxury event on Thursday. It was only open to, luxury agents to start with. However, we do have 5 seats still available for that. So if luxury is something that you want to get involved in, or you want to be a part of, please let me know, because we do have 5 more spots. I think it's from 3 until 6. It's out on Lake Minnewaska. Brady, who is the head of international luxury, is going to be there, and some other people just teaching on some different luxury trends and new things that are coming up. So it's going to be fun. I think it's the entire region. So if you want one of those 5 spots, let me know, because we have to actually sign you up. So we have our block party on the 28th. So next week, Profile is doing it. And then we have the 11th and 25th available. If you have a vendor or someone that wants to host those days, let us know. It's a great time for them to kind of get in communication with the agents in the market center. It's also a time for us to get to know them, if it's someone that we want as a preferred vendor. So 11th and 25th are still open.
They don't have to grill out, like if they're intimidated about.
I just want to bring lunch.
Yes, they do. I'm like, that's part of it, okay? They have to like sweat it out and grill and have the smoke in their face. Like, no, they can just bring food as well. This is you.
This is me.
I was like, is this you?
This is me.
You have to introduce yourself. We
My
don't
name
know
is
who
Nick
you are.
Ferrer with Great North Title. I'm gonna hand out a couple of these. You guys aren't all gonna want them. I'm gonna talk about something that will be helpful for you guys in that. Oh, copy that. John.
Sure.
This is an opportunity. It's both a lead generation tool, but probably more importantly for many of you, it's an opportunity for you, before you go out on a listing, for you to get ahead of the conversation. How many of you currently pull an owner's an O&E right now, an owners and encumbrances on your properties before you go out for a listing appointment? How many of you have ever been surprised at a listing appointment when somebody, or after a listing appointment, when somebody comes to you and says, hey, by the way, that property has additional liens on it? Have you guys had that happen before? Have you ever been in a position where that could have prevented you from closing? Yes. Thank you.
I just had you guys pull one
Yes,
for
yes.
someone that I knew
Yes.
last week.
So this is the thing. We have an opportunity now. You can go forward.
Oh, I was like,
It's-
what?
yeah.
Like, oh,
Not you.
no.
Not you.
Okay.
Hey now. All right. So here it is, you guys. You guys have a couple of these tools. How many of you use RPR right now? Tons of you. This is going to be awesome. I love RPR. Realtor Property Resource. There's a ton of reasons why you should use it. You also pay for it as a part of your NAR.
Where
That's
did you
it.
find this?
You can directly link to your RPR through your MLS login. Imagine that.
Were these all questions you guys were wondering?
No, but seriously, if you're not using it, if you're not using that to begin with, you guys are probably not following your. If you're not using that, you don't know the demographics of who you're selling to, the conversations you're having, how to market to those people on a better basis. If you haven't used RPR, check it out today. That's not a pitch. That's something you already pay for. It's free to you. This is also free to you. This is provided by us. But unlike that, this offers you the opportunity to market through, you can pull lists, you can pull reports, but here's probably what's more important for me. You can also identify when you're going out to a listing, you can go ahead and go forward. This is an idea that you can use for circle prospecting. How many of you circle prospect right now? Okay, so you can use this for circle prospecting. to better identify what's happening in the neighborhood and define. But if you're already using a circle prospecting tool, don't use this as a circle prospecting tool unless you're looking for a change, because this is a little bit more encumbering on the activities to do it, and it's 5 cents a record when you're pulling it. However, here's what you're going to find. Go ahead and go forward. Let's go forward again. Just make it real fun for all of us. This is what you are going to want the information about. The next 2 slides, you're going to want information. When you guys pull this up, you definitely have access to their tax records. How many of you pull up tax records before you list a property? Okay, so now this is also
Please
the
tell me that you guys just weren't listening when he just asked that question. We pulled tax records, right, before we go on a listing appointment.
You get this started, eh, Derek?
I was like, please tell me you just weren't listening, because
It's okay. They're like, God, there's a title guy in my office again.
yeah.
But no, okay, so here's the thing, you guys. When you show up for a listing presentation and you're having conversations about how do you factor a net sheet? You guys do net sheets? Okay.
They're required in your file, in your documents. Signed. Every single person in here does a net sheet.
Look, this is just getting better for all of us. We're just tying it all together today, guys. So why
Yes,
this is
Tony, they're
important
required.
for you is as you're doing some of these net sheets, how many of you have ever been wrong on a net sheet? I've been wrong on a net sheet.
It's an estimate. It doesn't need to be accurate. It's an estimate every time.
So they forget to pay off that second loan position at $250,000, right? They didn't know about it. They think it's been serviced somewhere else. All of a sudden, the net sheet looks incredibly different. You guys, this prepares you the opportunity to determine the information about the house that isn't readily available elsewhere. This is a program that's been given to us, and what it is, it's all the title companies that put together this information, and now they're kind of cataloging this. So go ahead and go forward. I'm able to determine different properties, where they are on just like you guys. But here's what I'm able to do. By going in and clicking on these, I can gather all of that information immediately. I can go and see what liens are currently, what's out there, what are the encumbrances on this property. I can see things like utility easements and stuff like that. Now, we still are going to do our due diligence on the end of this. This just allows you to have a better understanding of the property before you go out there in a singular place. The other thing that you can do with this program, and you'll see it on here, is that you're able to go in and you're able to pull some of these documents off, right? Sometimes somebody needs a document. Again, it's 5 cents a sheet on the records, but you can pull them directly from here if your client is in need of them. That doesn't mean we're going to take them as original docs. We're going to still have to do our job by going to the county, making sure. But this gives you guys a better opportunity to know the properties you're listing, to have a conversation with the sellers, and to determine, are you meeting with the right person? Is the conversation you're having the right thing? I got a cheat sheet in front of you. I realize now it's a little bit smaller for those of us who are
Like mine, huh?
visual, struggling without glasses right now still. But the QR code will get you to our registration page. We will then get you out a code to log in and create your own account. And again, if you're using a different program for some of your other marketing and or some of your comps and stuff, which I'm sure you are, keep using that. Don't change that. But if you are going on listing appointments and you're going in blind, pull the address up in this, search it really quick so that you know when you get there, you have a really good handle on what they have out, so that before we get into a problem in title, before there's a conversation that you guys no longer are in control of, you can get ahead of this and say, yes, you have this, and your ex-wife still exists on there as well, right? Because that's a problem too, if they have an ex-wife that they never got off the deed, and here she is, right? So that's it. Any questions, you guys, on this very, very exciting conversation?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
It should be exciting because this is happening a lot. Like some of the conversations, I mean, the reason I had you guys pull it, right, is because I had a past person in my life, a client, come and say, hey, we're going through some financial trouble. Someone that you would have never, I would have never thought this was a conversation. Like, and there was a ton of shame around it. And she's like, I don't know if this other lien or this other loan is attached to the property. I'm like, I don't know how it couldn't be, which I still can't figure out how it's not. But I'm like, let's just pull this. And I called up Melanie and I said, hey, can you pull this for them? Right. So I'm like, it's all like fun and games as we're talking about it, but there's some real situations that people are in right now.
How many of you have
Like
aging
really,
parents?
really
How
tough
many of you-
situations.
How many of you have aging parents or are aging parents?
I'm the aging parent.
So,
John, raise your hand.
but not John, we don't want to hurt him there. No, another way that this came up, more recently that's a little bit closer to home than a real estate transaction is, an elderly parent of a friend, was being taken advantage of by a caregiver and had deeded, the lake property into that. So we ran the name and we ran the addresses and found that this had been done, and the family had no idea. So you can also help people that are in that situation where, again, sometimes you want to know if somebody there liens, and with everything that's happening right now, there's a lot of fraud. People are selling vacant land in other parts of, not as much here, but still here in Western Wisconsin. And it's not their land to sell. So again, this just gives you an opportunity to be a better student when you're going in and getting ready for that conversation. And if you have questions about maybe your own properties, family properties, or people that you're going to be doing business with, to take a look at this really quick and say, hey, have you ever seen this before? Do you think that this is legitimate, right? There's multiple mortgages on there. Oh, we paid that off years ago. Yep, and of course, some title company didn't record the satisfaction. Not us, but somebody. So this is a really good opportunity for you guys to stay ahead of it. And you don't have to know title. You just have to know, hey, you have 3 liens against the property according to tax records, right? Are these legitimate liens? And if they are, great. If they're not, let's get in front of that with our title company so that we're not delayed or have a different number on the bottom of the settlement payment.
Well, and let's be honest, if you go into a listing presentation and you're talking about this with them on a very like professional level, and you're like, hey, you have 3 liens on the property, and they're like, well, we didn't even know that. And the other person that came in was just talking about how great their social media and their marketing is. Who do you think they're going to hire? Like, I know these aren't like the sexy conversations and it's not fun videos and it's not like flashy marketing, but we really didn't get into this business for marketing, right? You got into this business to sell someone's real property and help them buy a real property. That's what we should know,
And to protect
right?
them
Like to
at
protect
every-
them at every
Yeah.
cost, right? Because it's going to come back on you, or it's going to be a really weird transaction, or they're going to say, you know what, I don't want to work with you anymore because you didn't know these things, right? So again, in any of these trainings, some of it's like, you're like, oh, I just don't want to listen. It's boring. Da, da, da. You know what? The more boring it is, the more you should probably listen because it's stuff that you should
Yeah,
probably
you're right.
know, right? Like that's the reality of it. And granted, we have other fun stuff that we teach as well,
Yeah.
and we're going to do AI and all that, but AI also is not getting at this, right? And if it is, it's probably not as accurate as pulling up the data from an actual title company.
So guys, scan the QR code on these papers. If you need one, raise your hand, scan the code. You guys can get registered within, usually takes us about 24 to 48 hours to get the program to set up. Then you'll get an email and you'll have access to it. It is free to you, and you can access it from your phone and anywhere else. It's an online platform. So Nick Dreher, Great North Title, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, let's go take a look at June. This is you, Jelena. Well, not actually.
No, it's not me. I'm recording.
Oh, there's a recording. Okay, I was like, well, April's not here.
I don't know if there's a recording, but I think there's a that.
Oh, I'm not.
Would you guys like, would anyone like to read that out loud? Oh, Wendy, I know you love reading things out loud.
Sure, on
I
behalf
was
of
like, Wendy, would you like to read this out loud?
been voluntold. I get it. I'm
But-
selecting this person to receive the Culture Award because she truly deserves it. Since joining our Market Center less than a year ago, she has consistently shown what it means to be part of our KW culture. She works incredibly hard and brings so much positive energy to the office and is always willing to put the effort to grow her business. Even with a brand new little one at home, she continues to show up, stay committed, and make a positive impact on those around her. She's especially generous with newer agents on the PC team, always willing to share her knowledge, answer questions, and allow others to shadow her so they can learn from her experience. She actively participates in meetings, networking opportunities, is a great door-knocking buddy, and leads by example through her commitment, generosity, and positive attitude. She doesn't just focus on her own success, she helps create a culture where others can succeed too. Deja. And I'm excited to recognize her with this reward.
any words, you have a speech, you
I
know.
like to thank my mom.
Right, good.
Appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot. Yeah, thank you.
You're happy you're here. All right, welcome Emily. Now, see, there's like a really fun player. All right, cappers, we got 4 cappers this month. Derek.
Oh my God.
Alex Randall, Tony. So when do you start over? Your cap.
November.
Okay, when do you start over? Okay, so you have
You're right.
a lot of months. So you capped in 2 months of 100% commission. How's that feel? Slow. That seems slow because it wasn't a month or
Last 5 or 6 years.
perspective. Okay. What are we gonna do about that?
Lead generate a little more.
Oh. Congratulations, everybody.
You should host a class.
You should host a class. Oh, did you hear that? You should host a class. Be better off taking him out to like coffee or like anything else to like pick his brain because that's what his class would be. So like you should lead generate, make a call. Like him and Jacob would be great together. That's started and done in 10 minutes. Like, pick up the phone. You're fine.
Class.
All right, congratulations to Matt for his first listing and so June numbers. These are active listings. So if you have one that's withheld or coming soon, those ones do not count towards this. So, and if we've made a mistake, which we've all been proven to make mistakes on these numbers, which also we get these numbers pulled from a report, right? So we do our best to look at that report, and there are a lot of you. I think moving forward, we're going to probably send these out to the teams that their numbers are, just so that we can make sure that they're accurate. We haven't got that system in place yet, but if there is a mistake, please give us some grace. Come talk to us about it, and we'll make sure to get that changed. Fair? Okay. And we have to clap. Why do we have to clap? You don't have to. I would like you to, because these are numbers that people are really excited about, and there are names on here that are either new or different or breaking records. So listings taken, top individuals, Amanda Brown. Houses going for sale at 174. Oh, no, it's 174.9, 174, so maybe not. Top closed individual volume for June. Matt Strobel was 1.8. For individuals in June. I mean, a round of applause there. That's awesome. Closed GCI, you've got Pete in the number 1 spot. All right, then we go to top individual teams. We've got Jose with 5 listings to be and then top individual teams closed volume. We have Jose Hilario team with 3. And Jose, no wonder why I haven't seen him out of that office during a closing for the last month. Top teams, we have listings taken. Sorrento team with 7. Bravo. Taking volume, Sorrento team with 8.3. All right, closed volume for top teams. We have the Sorrento team with 4.5 million. Followed by- Wait, that's even just a million. We are over 2 million for the top teams in June. That's incredible. Yesterday, we were on a phone call with International and it talked about culture. And it said that culture is no different than production. Because when you're producing, the culture in your market center is one that is a growing culture, right? Like you're always growing, you're always producing, you're always learning. And these numbers are incredible and kind of just go along with that, right? Where it's like the production is just kind of going up each and every month here. So top GCI, you've got Brahma Real Estate Group with the number 1, followed by all right, top groups. The Homers Group with 11 listings taken. There. Just like, I mean, he even can show up listing 11 properties. Look at you. Listings taken 11.1 million.
Might be a stupid question. Sorry.
No stupid questions in here.
Difference again between a group and a team?
Wonderful question.
That's a great question. Heather, do you want to explain that?
Group will have 3 licensed agents or more, and a team will have 2 or less.
All right, top closed volume for June. Homers Group with 12.5 million. 12.4. Woo! You guys like like in 1 month, 2 groups closed $24 million worth of real estate in this office. And then you had the rest of them and then the teams and the individual agents. You guys, it was a great month. If you're tired, I get it. If you're like really happy, I really get it, because I'm sure that the bank accounts are a lot better after this month, right? So top GCI, Desert Property Twins, followed by for commercial, we've got me and commercial team with 1 listing taken. And it's something associated in vision. All right, so this is always fun to look at year over year. So it's last year versus this year. So this year we had 159 closed units, which is an incredible amount in 1 month. Compared to, I mean, last year, even with 100 was a high month for closed units. And it was closed volume of $83.3 million versus 51.1. Listings taken, we took 76 versus 72. Listings taken volume, we took 47.7 million versus 44.6. Listings sold, we sold 77 versus 45. So when we're even thinking about listings and inventory, it's a pretty big increase year over year. Listings sold volume, we were at 40.2 million versus 23 million. Contracts written was 165 versus 104. Contracts written volume was 88.2 versus 52.3. This number is insane. Okay, this is a crazy number. Closed GCI, so the gross commission that went to you agents that you guys earn, the gross commission portion is 2.321496. And I'm going to say the whole number because that's a crazy number compared to the year before, which was 1.5.
That was,
That's a gigantic jump. And it's not like, oh my gosh, we've had horrible months prior to this. We had broken records also in May. So like it's month after month that we're just taking market share and you guys are growing your businesses, which is absolutely incredible. Profit share, also an amazing number. So we essentially doubled profit share. And if you're like, okay, what's profit share? That is money that just goes back into your account on the 21st of every single month that we share with you, that the investors share their profit with the agents. And it literally comes from the profit. It doesn't come from a specific agent. It doesn't come from like a person's at GCI. So VA had profit share of 18,538 versus 9,000 last year. Those are great numbers. Like you should be really happy about those because that has nothing to do with us. That has everything to do with your production and your business.
All those on the left that are in bold are all-time records.
And by all-time records, that's 21 years of being in business as a market center, all-time records. That just happened. And the GCI one, we just beat the all-time record, and then we beat that again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we just keep kind of crushing those records as we go along, which is incredible. Do you guys feel good about that?
Yes.
Yeah? I mean, I would if I were you. What do you guys see in this? What do you feel? What do you see in the market? Like, why these numbers? And we were 50%, like in 50% productivity. So 50% of our agents were closing deals last month, which if you're new or like a newer agent, it's usually offices are not 50% producing, right? Because we all know that some agents, they grab their license and some of them just kind of hang out or they do 1 or 2 deals a year. So 50% of our office at the largest number that it's been in ever, besides the month before, at 150, and having 50% of those people producing is pretty cool. So what are we seeing? Ben, what are you guys seeing? I mean, you guys just put up 12.4, not 12.5, but 12.4 million. Oh,
No, I mean, we're seeing that, anyone can, there's enough business out there for everyone. It's just a matter of being strategic, especially in the multiple offers, figuring out a way to make sure you're winning those. If you're not, talk to someone who is. Because it's competitive out there. We're doing a lot of, it's not all luxury. It's a lot of smaller deals that are quite competitive.
well, so you had 23, how many closings?
I think 23 in June.
23 closings. So if you were to just do quick math, you're what, 4 something average sales, high 4s for average sale
Yeah,
price, right?
Price point.
So you're not doing 12 units at $1 million each. You've done 23 units in 1 month at a, $500,000 for average sales price.
that's a great plug for our meeting next too, just about listings. What do you do with those? So how do you win?
Yeah, this is all true because we have a panel next week. You don't have to hear me. Well, you get to hear me ask questions, but you're like the fun. What else are we seeing? I'll wait for it. Johannes, I don't understand. What do you see, Tony?
A lot of price reductions.
Okay. Specific areas? Is everybody seeing price reductions? You guys look at listings?
That was just, oh, sorry, go ahead. If you guys listen to David Arbit, he just did his market update last week. And go check out the recording, but he was talking about those listings that are in the $1 million range, and they seem like that still seems to be strong. Are you guys feeling that too? Like that kind of what they were
Million
saying?
plus is not seeing the same reductions as million well.
Interesting. Why is that? Let's talk about that. That's an interesting, because usually you see the price reductions top down, right? Like you see top down and then, the other way. But why do you think below $1 million is not seeing, having that? Is the average buyer now buying $1 million plus house? You just laughed and you were like, huh?
I don't know, but
I feel like with $1 million plus, like, I don't know everybody's financial situation, but that $1 million. Your financial. Oh, and you're like $1 million. You got your stuff.
Smoke and mirrors, baby. Smoke and mirrors sometimes.
But with people that are like in the $400,000, $500,000 range, like they're picky for a reason, like the half a bill, and like I put all this money together, and I don't want to drop it on just any random house.
Well, they're more cautious of what they're spending, right? Whereas like it's one where, okay, if you're just randomly spending money, or it's like, hey, I can afford this, you're kind of like, okay, what can I get for X, right? Do you feel like in that under $1 million, the inventory is, I don't know if I want to say show ready or move in ready, or is there, I mean, I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, where there's things that need to be done with it. And then all of a sudden that kind of freaks out that buyer a little bit. Cause it's like, okay, I can buy for $500,000, but I might have to put in 40,000 or 50,000, right? So I'm like, is that what's kind of, I mean, what's the mentality of that buyer right now? Or what do those houses look like?
I think anywhere like the 5 to the 900,000, these people are really reaching for the stars in their budget, and they're just tapped, and they just don't want to do anything. They just want it perfect.
Okay.
Buyers I've dealt with.
What are you seeing for, I mean, obviously you're not sharing the person, right? But as a lender, what are you seeing for the people that are like approved under that, right? Are you seeing that they have other liabilities that might be, you know, deterring them from purchasing, or that they're nervous about?
it's hard to say, right? Everybody is so unique when you look at it.
Yeah.
Some people are leveraged pretty heavily and are comfortable with that, and others aren't.
Yeah.
I've worked with people that, you know, are very first-time home buyers, but they're very secure and they got it, and they're not going to go above a certain budget, and that's it. Like, then you got the others that are like, yeah, look, you know, push it and that kind of thing. So it's kind of like, it's hard to pinpoint, I guess. There's still a lot of demand, but
That's an interesting thing you just said, because I've heard this more and more with buyers, especially first-time home buyers. Like, well, I'm not best. And I'm like, well, you're paying $2,800 in rent. Like, doesn't make sense, right? But I'm like, what is that mindset of that buyer, right? Like, have we thought about what that mindset is? And like, part of the job, what we were just talking about, like the non-fun, non-sexy part is, tell me more about why that's what you're willing to spend. Like, what does that price point mean? Or what does that mean for you, right? Because I'm like, if you're paying what a lot of them are paying in rent, and I think Gary went on a soapbox about this one time, where they're like paying a ton in rent, and then they go out and they buy like craft cocktails that are like $25 a piece. And you're like, but I will not pay $40 extra on my mortgage, right? Like, have we thought about that mindset as a first-time home buyer? Like, have we talked through that, or are you just kind of like, okay, cool. I don't know. Like, what does that conversation look like to those buyers?
So yeah, so for a lot of the buyers we've been helping, or I guess let's focus on the listing side of things, almost that perspective in terms of the price reductions we're seeing there,
Okay.
is that, and I'm going to take a big step back, right? Okay, we're going to start over.
You have a lot of thoughts that you have so share.
All excited. And so the conversation we have with our sellers on the front end is like, we can either do the preparations on the front end, wait a little longer to go on the market, or are we going to, so that it's prepared right, or would you rather go on the market, but likely sit on the market longer because you're going to need more endurance because you didn't do the preparations, and then ultimately end up likely with a price reduction. But it comes back to pricing appropriately from the beginning. That, I mean, we've had listings that a seller wants a higher price, we go at that higher price, and then we reduce it because it's not selling, and then it goes into multiple offers, right? And sells back to that normal number. You can avoid so much of that if you're pricing it right from the beginning. I mean, you've got to be the best price house at that time, every time in that market. To avoid
And when you give them that option, right? Or you're talking about that, like in a listing presentation, or you're already have the listing and you're like, hey, we could either do the fixes or we could go on as is and this loved house. What do they pick?
I mean, we try and show the reasons so that there's only really one answer that seems appropriate, right? Which is in their best interest.
Yeah.
Sell quicker, sell for more, and we don't want them doing things that they're not gonna get more than that amount or more back either, right? So
Yeah.
we're advising them in the right place, give them all the resources so it's a hands-off thing for them, so that essentially make the path of least resistance really easy for them. To be able to want to move forward with that, whether it's getting creative with the money to pay for it and do it, maybe that's the hurdle. It's figuring out what's the hurdle that they don't want to do what you're advising.
So we've all heard that, like, let's just test the market. Let's just put it on at, some outrageous number and test the market. People are still saying that.
Yeah, don't do that.
But they still say that. So when someone comes to you and says, let's just test the market at, the house is worth 500,000, like, can we just test it at 599? Actually, not unreasonable for someone to ask, right? What do you say in that situation?
And so there's kind of three things that need to be done properly in order for you to sell quickly. You got to price it right, market it right, prepare it right. And if you're missing any one of those things, you will not sell. Do you not want to sell? Of course I want to sell. No, so let's
Wait, no, don't go past that, right? Like, do you ever ask, do you just not want to sell? Who asked that question in a listing presentation? Nobody asked that question? Like, honestly, or are we just like not raising our hand again? Nobody asked it. Someone like shake, nope, I don't ask that question. Okay. Why don't we ask that question?
Don't want to sell it.
You can pack up your stuff though at that moment in time and not waste 3 months of your life and at least $1,500, right? Okay, we're all getting up. Everybody's standing up, okay? Our hands up. We're to your toes. Put them back up. I will participate. Okay. No, y'all are either not going to show up next week or you're going to start participating. Okay?
So then what's the answer?
There it is.
I've been patiently waiting, okay?
First, I like to talk.
What's the answer to below $1 million? Why is that market experiencing what it is compared to north of $1 million?
Great question. And I think it's because a first-time home buyer is having the most amount of difficulty affording it than someone who's buying their second house. They're fortunate to be pulling a good amount of equity out, likely are more stable, and it's easier for them to move up. I think it's the first-time home buyers that are struggling most right now.
I think there's a lot to the answer. I think it's more complicated than one little thing, but I think that if you're someone that has assets and significant assets, what's happened with the stock market recently? We've seen all-time highs ever before in history. I had a cash statement show up on one of my listings where there was $1.5 million earnings in 30 days on the account.
For the buyer.
And they weren't even spending that on the house they were buying. And then if you look at 5 million plus, how many sales have there been 5 million plus?
Which is really funny because I just
We're
got to
talking about the wealth disparity is getting
that number.
extreme. So south of $1 million, that consumer is fatigued. Overall, they're fatigued. How much does it cost to replace a furnace? What's it cost? It's $6,000. Normal size house.
It costs $6,000 for an
$2,500
AC. I just replaced mine.
It's $2,500 for a water heater. You know, a fridge is $2,500. Like, and that's for a basic one. So you add up all these things, and it's like the consumer is freaked out. And then I think you've got luxury apartments competing with the first-time homebuyer category. That's why you're seeing 40-year-old first-time homebuyer age. They're also, a lot of them, I think, are just waiting. Like I have somebody came into an open house just this last weekend. They're waiting to have $100,000 saved before they buy a house. That's crazy talk. How long is that going to take to save $100,000 versus getting into the market, buying a house and letting it appreciate over time?
Why that number?
Because it was 20% their purchase price.
They're gonna put it all on the property.
Generally, yeah. Yeah, but I think there's a lot to it. I think we also have a financial system that's messy.
So,
There's a lot of different layers to it, but it's
so
a
there was like
complex
8
answer.
problems that I just heard in that scenario, right? For a first time home buyer. When we talk about opportunity in real estate, how are you going to help solve those problems? That's part of our job, right? Whether it's actually solving the problem or giving solutions to the problem, right? Like, hey, I'm freaked out about appliances. Have you ever thought about a home warranty, right? Like there's a lot of different things that in real estate, all of the things that you just said, they're not being educated, you guys. Bottom line is these first-time homebuyers are actually not being educated properly. They're going online, they're going on to AI, they're going on to whatever funny, video or TikTok is being done. And most of them are dog, you know what, okay, in regards to actual education. This is their jobs. And if you want to crush those numbers, you sit in front of a first-time home buyer, or you get a group of first-time home buyers and you educate them on this portion of how they can actually get into a house versus, do the math, just if it was $2,000, right? $2,000 a month on a 1-bedroom in a luxury apartment, which is low probably for a luxury apartment, right? 12 months, right? What is that just went out the window for them? That's $24,000, even, right? Within 4 years, they'd have their $100,000 by not going out the window if they bought a house with less and then watched the equity bill. These are things that we should be teaching those first-time home buyers, no matter what age group they are, because they believe they know what's the right decision because they're making a decision on the information they have. And the information that they have is not accurate. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Oh, there's like no way I'm getting up and doing that again.
Go.
Jason Abrams said last year at Family Reunion, it's the market of the moment, you're not buying, everybody's like, well, I don't want to buy at the top of the market. You're buying at maybe the top of the moment, but have any of us seen the top of the market? Not really, because over time, the gaps fill in and the trajectory of growth still exists. So that's where I think that providing them context in the minute, spending $500,000 is obnoxious if you think about spending that on a house, but you could rent for the otherwise. So I think it's context to that. It's providing a solution to the let's get a home warranty. It's negotiating right. But I think those people are still getting a lot of their information from online sources or from grandma and grandpa who are like, you're not going to pay $400,000 on a house. You haven't bought a house since 1978.
Well, and let's be real. Neighborhoods are shifting, right? So in regards to neighborhoods shifting, I live in a nice neighborhood. I live in a nice neighborhood, in a house that's fine. I have 6 people that live in my home. Okay. So I'll share. I'll let you guys understand my life. Okay. That house has went up $300,000 since I bought it in 2020. It has 1 full bathroom that, yes, 5 girls, including myself, share. 1 full bathroom and 1 half bathroom. Okay. Why? Because we're not all home at any point in time ever, really. And you know what else? I like spending money on travel. So you also have to talk to people about their lifestyle. Do you know how many times my daughter's like, can we just move out to the suburbs and have a pool? And I was like, I'm not cleaning the pool. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, you tell me all the time, like, move out. And I was like, I like my house. Right? So you have to have real conversations with people. And if I would not buy that house today for what it would cost for me I would move somewhere else. Like I would, a city I don't know, a town, whatever, right? Like, what?
I don't think most of us would rebuy our current house.
So that's the part where you have to like have conversations. Like, you know what? You're not going to get into this area at this price point. Or if you are, you're getting this, right? Like when I bought that, I have gotten away for 6 years now buying a new AC, and I really tried again this year. It just didn't happen. But like those are the things, right? That you have to go into knowing like, okay, I'm going to do this. And you're right, everything is expensive, you know, like you buy something and you have to have a electrician come over. You're not getting away with that for less than $1,000, whatever it is. Like, it is what it is, right? So educate the buyers, educate people. You want to help people, help them.
I think taxes, property taxes and insurance are really impacting affordability. Those things, I've got a couple buyers and just when taxes on a $325,000 house are $4,700, like that's an extra $400 a month that he's just like, yeah.
I mean, I feel bad about the insurance, but I also, it's kind of like a reflection for human beings for taking responsibility in their own actions. Like every time a hailstorm comes, you shouldn't get a new roof. And a lot of people took advantage of that the last 6 years, and now we're paying for it. Now everybody's paying for that, right? Which is a really sad deal, which that's also part of it, right? Like every time a storm chaser comes
Put
in.
that on the consumer for that being our fault. Come on.
Really?
That's the manufacturer and the insurance company themselves of how they're writing it.
Absolutely not.
It's true, the market is roof is
I think it's both. I think it's both. How many, do you get a call immediately after a hailstorm?
No, I make the call because I want a new roof.
Point being, right there, right? Like, do you need a new roof necessarily?
Yeah, it's 25 years old. I finally got it approved after my.
Oh my God. I love that you said don't blame it on the consumer and you just proved my point.
The point though is they write the policy the way they write the policy.
Should have your roof at 25 years old been replaced by you?
And the
Or insurance
manufacturer discontinues the shingle every year so that there won't be a match and they can't go patch it. You know, if there's windstorm or whatever, like.
Yeah, that's fair, but
If they made better quality materials, we'd have less of an issue if they wouldn't have wrecked the
do you
money.
agree that the consumer takes advantage of insurance?
No, that's why.
No, I think the insurance company takes advantage of us.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I agree with that. Preach.
I think that roofing companies take advantage of.
Insurance, yeah. I don't think
The storm.
homeowners insurance, like the roof thing,
But the
I mean,
markup on
I've
a
seen
roof,
people
the
get brand new
profit on a
roofs
roof
in
is
5 years.
insane.
And I'm the
Insane.
rep in my business networking group who says, we've done this to ourselves. The insurance companies have done this to themselves by writing lax policies, by automatically just handing out money
That's what I
over
mean,
and over.
like,
The insurance company should
companies have done it
require
to
a class
themselves.
4 shingle every time it's replaced and you'd eliminate half the claims.
I think
Maybe
it's both,
more.
right? So they had lax, like, and we took advantage of it. Like, it's any loophole. You're like, if I can get a new roof, I'm gonna get a new roof. I know I will, right? Like,
I get a bathroom, I know. It's everyone getting these free roofs.
I could have got 2. I only got 1, but. All right, what else?
I don't think fire.
The taxes have gone
Property taxes have gone up so much.
Okay, another thing that you can do though, right, is what do you, like, do you call up someone like in that setting, right? And you say, hey, here's what this house can sell for, because the tax value is not always accurate. How many of you, to your point, do you look up tax value? Do you look up tax records?
On what?
The house,
What house?
any house you're selling. Okay, is it accurate? Or like, is it taxed at a different price point than what it could sell at?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's usually over, right? Like now cities are like, oh, you could sell at 700 and you could really sell at 6. Does that happen? Or is it under?
See it under.
Under, okay. You don't ever look at Minneapolis's taxes then, because they're always over.
Does anyone dispute their tax?
That's what I'm saying.
Do they win?
Yes,
Yes.
people win.
It does happen?
Especially if there's not all the municipalities or all the counties have a variance, and sometimes they'll adjust it. And unless the consumer goes in and argues it, they're not going to adjust that. They're going to take that variance of whatever that increase was, whether it's whether it's the actual value that they're increasing, or whether the tax itself has increased year over year. And there's usually I know in Chisago County, it's like 15%. So if it goes up any more than that year, you can ask for the variance and then they refund that back. It's still going to be charged, but they'll give you, but I think to your point about that is how can you demystify the problem with insurance and to say, listen, this is actually only going up by this amount every year. So this is what you can expect moving forward, right? we can't change the taxes when we can't change the taxes, but you can give them perspective on that to say, listen, this is what it does, this is what the actual percentage of increase is, and this is what you get to write off.
And you have to remember, a lot of people don't let the assessor come into their house.
Correct.
So if you don't let the assessor come into your house, they're gonna assess it for whatever they believe it is, and especially if there was any permits pulled, they will assess it incredibly high, right? Like, cause if there's any new houses nearby or like, so it's like double edged, but I know anyone that I've given comps to that has tried to fight the taxes have gotten it back down.
Oh, they have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's just, you have to go through a process and people don't want to go through a process, right? It takes comps, it takes emails. Sometimes it's, correspondence with someone, but it usually goes down. I can only speak for like Edina, Minneapolis, St. Louis Park.
Heather.
Anywhere else, I don't know, but those places. You can win. What else? Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I said buyers, but I mean, I don't think people understand that real estate is a great hedge against inflation. And probably one of the only things that people are spending money on that actually is a hedge against inflation. Everything else, the cost is just going up and you're not getting any recurring value out of the money that you're putting into that. Whereas real estate is inherently tied to inflation. So as inflation continues to go up, the cost of living, having a place to live is also tied to that.
Question, or I guess what would take time. But I hear a lot of people saying they're ready to crash. Buy a house now, and if the house crashes, their home value decreases, equity decreases. Now they're in foreclosure. Yeah. What do you say?
You get already dead. I mean, from last year, I've seen $100,000 differences from last year to this year. 20%.
I think the
Below
word crash
$1 million.
is perspective, right? So he's like, I think it already did. Whereas what their mindset might be is like the 2000, like the actual, like just foreclosure where everything just plummeted.
Johanny, when I talk to people about that, I refer back to supply and demand, right? There's just not the supply of houses and there's the demand of people. So it's a lot of wishful thinking that it'll crash. So then everybody can afford homes again. But that's unfortunately not the reality. We're 15 million units behind in single family homing across the nation. We're not going to catch up on that end. So the supply and demand, I revert back to that and I say, it's an unfortunate reality, but how do we deal with that, right? So it's not as fun, but that's what I have to do, right? Yeah.
And timing the market, that's what I would say oftentimes. I can't time the market. If I could, then would I be selling real estate every day? Probably not. So timing the market can be really difficult. So the longer you wait, the more expensive it gets all the time. So even if there is a down in the market that we could see coming, which because of the supply and demand, we can't. I think helping them understand that we can't time the market, but the longer you wait getting in, we know that it's going to get more expensive every time.
I think the other really, if I can find it, which I'm sure we do, the 40-year, Gary puts up what real estate looks like over 40 years of time, or it's probably 45 years of time now. And I think when people saw that crash, when you look at it across the board, right, and you look at real estate, it's not like that's a every 7-year thing, right? It's not like it just crashes every so it's what are you waiting? It's almost like people are anticipating oh, I can't wait for it to crash again because then I'm going to get cheap houses. And it's
But that is the level of hesitation that's out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the showings that get scheduled, a new listing comes on, you might, if you are the best condition, best price, you will have good showing activity. But if you hit somewhere just a little bit off of that, you can have 4 or 5 days of a brand new listing and no showings. And then have to reduce the following week. There's a lot of hesitation. I had a new listing that went on Friday. Had a dozen showings. And then another 20 people in the open house. I had 3 people that reached out that all said that they were writing an offer from their agents. Nothing yet. I have one that finally said they wrote this morning, but they saw it on Friday and Saturday.
Minus new construction, what's the longest that roughly that you can remember a house that you had listed on the market? Your whole career?
My longest?
Yeah.
I just closed on it maybe 6 months ago, 3.5 years.
But that was new construction,
Yeah.
not new construction.
Those short sale days.
So I say this, right? And you're smiling because
Had a year-long listing where you'd sell it, but then it'd take forever to
I
close.
think we have a weird conception, and then we're at time. We have a weird conception of time, right? Because for the last few years, everything went off the market within 14 days. Right? You're making pretty large financial decisions in, 24 hours of time period when a house came on the market, or 48 hours, right? Whereas markets that we've been in before, right? You could look and stare at a house for like 60 to 120 days. Nothing was wrong with the house. And you didn't even have price reductions, like maybe every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it was like 10,000, 20,000. So I'm like, that's not a crash. That used to be normal. Like normal's just different now because everything's so fast. Everything's so fast paced and everybody wants everything like so quickly. But I'm like, that used to happen all the time. And those were horrible calls every Monday. Hey, did we get any showings? Yeah, nope. You did not get any requests, but we're still looking at the market. And you know what? Bob's house down the street just came on and we're watching that too, right? Like it's all perspective, I think. And that's where we just got to watch the market. You got to see how many days and you got to take a look at what houses are selling and does it have to be in perfect condition? Maybe right now, maybe it does. And maybe that's the conversation. Or you got to be okay with having a lower price point. Valid?
And just to kind of follow up on the question there, like the national or the even local, I'd say appreciation year over year annually is about 4%, right? And so if someone's like waiting for the market to crash, if you break that 4% down, say a $400,000 house, right? Each month it's actually appreciating, say, $2,000 every month. So every month you're waiting, you're actually missing out on that appreciation of $2,000 every single month throughout that year. So something to think about in the cost of waiting for whatever it is.
Great point.
It's probably the best argument I've ever heard to homeownership versus renting.
Say it again, so we like really loud.
I always,
And like
I always,
outside.
I always went to what are you paying off in principal, assuming the value stays the same. And that trade-off or the trade-off in income tax.
We'll talk about that next week.
You gonna repeat it?
So, no, maybe Al is. Maybe it's not
It
you.
must be Alex.
Maybe it's not you, it's the other one. It's the other one. All right, if your name is up here, come up. We've got a lot of money to give away and a lot of spins. So, if you have a lot of spins, let's get the other spins out of the way first. So you're like, Bob, could you go to the back of the line real quick?
Make lots of money.
All right, who's up?